stop at my Peaks Garage. Well, I'm at the point where I just stopped because I ordered my push rods. What I want to do now is I want to paint the engine because right now it's very easy to paint. And it's going to be painted in a couple steps. The first thing I want to do is I want to paint the oil pan and the water pump because it's easy to get behind the water pump when you have it off the engine. And I also want to paint my oil pan. Mostly I want to prime it. We're going to talk about cleaning metal and getting bare metal ready for paint. You can see that there's like oxidation on here after I stripped it, and there's some rust here that we're going to take care of. And I want to paint it while I have it off the engine because I want to get primer on the bottom rail here. I'm going to prime the whole thing, but I want to get paint on this bottom rail where the bolts go, because when they rust, this is where the rust starts, underneath the bolt head. So we're going to paint underneath there, and we're going to paint underneath the water pump. We'll paint the whole water pump, but we'll talk about stripping metal, preparing bare metal for paint. You can see there's already oxidation on here and there's some rust. We're going to take care of this rust, apply some primer, paint it, and then we'll paint the rest of the engine. We'll start talking about the materials that I use. First, for stripping paint, you can use the aircraft paint stripper that you buy at a regular auto parts store, and that works fantastic. I use that a lot. Lately I've been using a lot of this Decoat from Eastwood. This is a paint and powder coater stripper, but what this really does that's pretty cool is it's first of all, it's a little thicker than the you see it's purple and it's really thick. It's almost like Elmer's glue. So that helps it stick where you put it. It doesn't run off. I like it for that reason. And second, it's not as toxic or as strong as that aircraft paint stripper. And this stuff is cool because you put it on the paint, leave it overnight, a couple hours to overnight, and it just kind of dissolves the paint and you just wipe it off. This stuff works really good. Unlike the aircraft paint stripper, when you put the aircraft paint stripper on, it'll peel the paint quickly, but if you leave it on too long, it gets really hard, then you have to redo it. But this stuff works really well. So I use this to strip that oil pan, the paint off. Next, I'm going to do some wipe down. Just wipe off the bare metal with this POR Metal Prep 15. That's just to wipe the oxidation off before I get it ready to prime. There's a rust converter that you can buy at a lot of auto stores, and this is supposed to convert the rust to a primer-based material, and I've used this a couple times, and I do use it on occasion, mostly trunk floors and underneath the frame, where I can spray it out of a squirt bottle, and it works pretty good. What I'm going to be using on this particular one is this Metal Rescue. Metal Rescue makes awesome stuff. There's a couple different products. There's this metal remover, Metal Rescue. It's a rust remover bath where you actually take it and you can soak the part in there and it'll come out spotless. And also you have this Metal Rescue rust removing gel. Now I'm going to put that on those really coarse rough spots just to remove the rust from that. And then when you're done with all that, you want to clean it and you spray this dry coat on there. This dry coat is rust preventative. It just cleans the surface and prepares it so that no oxidation occurs before you prime it. The primer I always use my Amercoat red oxide primer. It's a metal etching primer. It's an epoxy. You got to mix in 2 parts with a thinner to reduce it to spray it. And finally, another Eastwood product that I use a lot is the high temp 2K ceramic engine paint. It works awesome. It comes out beautiful. And I'm going to be using the Chevy orange color. So now we can clean the pan and get it all ready for paint. Okay, painting anything, doesn't matter if it's your engine, your car, whatever. It's all about a couple things. Cleanliness and safety. Whatever product you're using, read the label to make sure you're following all the safety precautions, because some of the stuff is really bad for your skin. You don't want it on your hands. If you got to wear a shirt, you want to protect your arms. Wear glasses to protect your eyes, because if it splashes in your eyes it can cause blindness. Put a rare respirator, protect your lungs, because it really can damage your lungs. You want to follow the instructions. And something most people don't think about is putting earplugs in, because a lot of the stuff as a vapor can go in your ear and you can get an ear infection from it. Now, cleanliness. The first thing when I got this oil pan, it was painted, and I'll tell you, I really wanted to put this in the blast cabinet and just blast all the paint off. But I'll tell you what, for oil pans, don't do it. Don't do oil pans, don't do oil pump housings, don't do anything that comes in contact with the inside of the engine because of this. Inside here there's this baffle. And this is kind of like a windage tray. X is a windage tray in the bottom of the oil pan. And what you don't want to do is sandblast this thing and run the chance of having even one a single bead of whatever media you're using. If you're using glass, black beauty, whatever you're using, you don't want to have one little bead of anything inside this oil pan. You might think you clean it perfectly, you might think you have it all out there, but I'll tell you what, one little bead will get sucked up, goes right to the main bearing. You can either spin your bearing or it's going to destroy the bearing. So don't take the chance. That's why I stripped this by hand with the paint stripper. And this is the way it came out. Now after it comes out, the paint is all stripped off. It's got this coating of, you can see this oxide coating on there where it's a little rusty because I had to rinse it off. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start very gently with my metal prep, this POR 15 metal prep. And this is going to, you'll see very quickly, I'm just going to use this, and what this is going to do is see how it starts to wipe off that surface rust, the oxidation that sits on the surface. You can see, here's a good example. You can see the difference between the two. See the metal prepped area versus the not metal prepped area? All I'm going to do is clean off all of this oxidation. Okay, I followed the instructions here, and it says to keep the surface wet 15 to 20 minutes and then rinse it off with water. So I had this all cleaned up as much as the POR is going to get it, and I don't think it's going to get any more. So I'll rinse this off with water, and then we're going to go to the Metal Rescue products. Next thing I'll be using is a Metal Rescue, the Rust Remover Bath. Now the difference about this stuff is, first of all, since I don't have 5 gallons of this, I can't really dip this whole oil pan and soak it. So I'm going to be using just a little bit. And what this stuff does is it's going to attack this rust, and as it attacks the rust, it's going to turn the rust black, like a primer. So you can either prime over it, or it makes it easier to get off. So I'll just do that. This stuff has got to sit for a while, so I'll put this on and let it sit. Alright, that's after a couple hours. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Metal Rescue Rust Removing Gel on here. And this you can leave sit for up to 24 hours. So I'll put this on. You can see how nice and thick, and it'll stick right to the areas I want it to stick to. It smells like Kool-Aid powder. Alright, we'll put this on, we'll leave it, and we'll come back and we'll see what it looks like. So a steel wire brush, just to work this into the areas where the rust is the heaviest, just to help it along. Just a little patience, a little elbow greasing, I'll have all that rust off. After a couple hours, we'll just wipe her off here. Nice and clean. So it takes a little while to work, so you got to be patient. But it does remove the rust, and it leaves behind a great surface. Now we'll wash this up, and then we will put our dry coat on there. We'll prevent it from oxidizing just before I paint it. After you wash it off, you take the dry coat, you just spray this on here, and all this does is prevent any surface rust from forming. Spray the whole thing down, and you let it sit for 30 minutes. Quick wipe down, and it's all complete. Metal Rescued. The Amercoat is a 2-part epoxy primer, and it mixes up really thick, so you have to thin it down and make sure it's right viscosity. Usually a 1-to-1 50% reducer works out pretty good. But any good quality automotive metal etching primer will do. This stuff is pretty expensive. So if you don't want to, if you only need to buy a little bit, just get a pint of a good epoxy metal etch primer. When you paint your engine, it'll work fine. And always remember to strain all your paint before you spray. I really like using this DeVilbiss HVLP, this starting line gun. This thing is awesome for small jobs like this with about 20 psi to tip. You can see how this primer dries, nice and flat. It cures, it's pretty warm today, so it cured pretty quickly. If you recognize the color, it's the same color as the Golden Gate Bridge. So what they do is they spray primer on that bridge, a metal etching primer, and they leave it that color. And that's the color of the Golden Gate Bridge. So, little trivia there. So now we'll put some color on it and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, let's mix up some paint. Again, I'm using the Eastwood high temp ceramic engine paint. And if you're interested, the part number is 51618ZP, Chevy orange. And let's open her up. Yes, that is Chevy orange right there. Okay, this is mixed 4-to-1. If you don't have the mixing cup, it's tough to do, but if you have the mixing cup, it's real easy because you got 4-to-1 on there, and you just put number 4 down here, you mix number 1, and you put the activator in. And here's something to help you out. When you buy paints like this, when it says a 2K paint, this is a 2K ceramic paint, it usually requires a hardener, and they're usually all mixed 4-to-1. You do not have to buy the hardener or the activator that comes with the paint. For example, if you buy this from Eastwood and it comes with a little pint of hardener that mixes the whole thing, you don't have to use that. I found that any 2K activator, this is a 2K activator, this is a Nason activator that I use for clear coats, and one day I was painting an engine and I ran out, I needed a little more paint. So I said, 2K activator, it catalyzes 2K, so I wonder if it works. And I mixed them together and it worked perfectly. So you don't necessarily have to have the hardener for this paint to mix it. As long as you have a 2K style hardener or activator, it's going to work with this paint. Let me mix that up and we'll shoot some color. Okay, so I use the same process on the block as I did on the oil pan and the water pump, and as you can see, the results are incredible. Every time I use this paint, fantastic results. I like it a lot. Just remember, work slow and be neat. That's all you got to do. Be neat and clean, and you should be fine. Now, if you're following along with this video series and haven't already, please click on subscribe. And if you click on the little bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get a notification every time I upload a video. Thanks for stopping by Pete's Garage.